Hey kittens, I'm prepping for my class, Awakening the Flow, and I'm having trouble focusing. So I figured I would do a video of me trying some stuff out and all of that, and just figuring out what I want to do to teach the class, and then I can upload this up to Patreon, and then if you guys want to follow along or whatever, it can be behind the scene footage or extra footage, or I don't know, something for you guys. So this is just me doing homework for the class that I'm teaching, and I'm using the camera as a body double to help me focus and create content for you. So here we are. Let me see if you can see me when I'm standing. Only if I'm all the way back here. So, alright, I guess we're going to be starting back here. I'm kind of backlit. Sorry, I've got windows here and no windows up there. It's just kind of how it is. Okay. So, one of the things I wanted to start the class with, I got my notebook here. Is yoga principles. Because one of the things that's kind of a big deal in the yoga community right now is getting back to yoga's roots and making sure that we honor the East Indian, South Asian influence, that we honor where it came from, that we're not appropriating this culture and whitewashing it. So, and I know I have this in my notes for yoga school, like the yoga principles, but I don't know where all that's at right now. I do, but I don't, but I do. I don't want to dig it out. So, yeah, so the first thing that comes up when you Google yoga principles is actually incorrect. It's very, very whitewashed. They've got the number 1 as proper exercise, and that's completely wrong. So that's kind of funny. Here we go. We want to talk about the Yamas and the Nayamas. That's what I was looking for. Do we have... Yes. Still a bunch of white people. Okay, so I'm just going to write some notes to get myself organized for teaching this class. So, talking about the Yamas. So ahimsa. Which is actually what I'm doing right now, which means non-violence or non-harm, or harm reduction. So going back to the basic structures of yoga and what it means, and educating that when I'm teaching a yoga class, making sure that I am teaching the yoga principles so that I'm not stripping away those principles and thus causing violence to the culture, right? So, and then there's Satya. Satya? I have how to pronounce it in my notes, but I fell off studying, to be honest. I had a very hard time focusing, which is why I'm videoing this. Truthfulness. So, Satya is truthfulness or being very honest. So, when we're talking about the Yamas, we want to make sure that we're being honest with ourselves, honest with each other, and coming from a place of pure intent. Intention. Okay, Estrella is non-stealing. Or Estea. Non-stealing. So that would be, not appropriating a culture and teaching it without sharing the cultural significance of that culture. Brahma Kaya. Now this says celibacy, but I'm going to change it more to like, what is the term? Moderation. Because when I was studying in school, it wasn't so much about actual celibacy because sex is a healthy part of being a human being. So I feel like that is a misinterpretation by this particular website. It's more about doing everything in moderation and not allowing any one thing to take over your life, which as an ADHD person, that's super easy for me because I can't stay focused long enough to, yeah. Okay. And yeah, this is really like not the best website, but that's okay. That's why we're here. I'm gonna have to pull out my notes from school, I think, to get this the way I want it to. A paragrapha. Abrigaha. I already spelled this wrong. R-I-G. Yeah. R-A-H-A. Yay for dyslexia. Okay. This says non-coveting and envy. Again, that's such a Western interpretation of this Eastern philosophy. So, it's more like it's more like not comparing yourself to others. Self to others. Okay. So I think we're just going to talk about the Yamas. Because you know what? I'm really not liking this website. I'm going to go get my notes. This is why I can't do anything fast. I can't do anything fast. Everything takes me forever. Okay, so I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to grab my notes, and then I actually need to put the clothes in the washer in the dryer, and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I got the clothes in the dryer. I'm sorry, I'm still backlit. Let me see if I can find a better location. That's better. So now I'm not backlit and standing in the dark. So let me look at my yoga notes. I put my clothes in the dryer, and now this is my notebooks from one of my notebooks from yoga school. Because I wasn't liking what I was finding online when it came to maybe I just want to talk about the limbs of yoga. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to figure out how I want to open my workshop. And I have an idea. I want to do like a little opening spiel of like basic yoga education, but I'm trying to determine what I want that to be. So don't want it to be like, see, like I have all of these notes, so I don't want it to be like a whole lot, just kind of a summary for my students. Some of them are taking yoga for the very first time ever. And might not even know the philosophies behind yoga and just think it's, you know, just the postures, and it's not. Satya. Satya. I feel like it's pronounced Satya, but there's no it's just Satya. Saya. I can't figure out what I want to do. Okay. I'm going to figure this out off camera a little bit, because this is just going to be me looking at my notes and trying to figure out my brain. Okay, I'm back. So I think I figured out what I want to do, how I want to open my class. I think I want to open my class just briefly discussing the 8 limbs of yoga and explaining what the 8 limbs of yoga are. So the yoga spirituality or yoga philosophy is like a tree, and there are 8 limbs of that tree, and they come together to make the core of the philosophy. So the first limb of the tree are the yamas. The yamas are how we should interact with the world around us. It is a guide to how we should treat others and the world in our sphere. Versus the Nayamas, or how we should treat ourselves, and how the way that we should hold ourselves to certain ethical guidelines. The asana, which everybody knows as the physical postures of the yoga, is simply a physical aspect of the yoga philosophy to train the body so it can sit comfortably for hours at a time in meditation. So the whole point of yoga is to be able to meditate in depth for a long time on like the bigger questions of the world. And the postures are simply to train your body so that you can sit comfortably for a really long time without doing damage to your body. And by a really long time, I mean like 8-9 hours long. Of course, they really want like 30 minutes to start, right? But as a figure model, I know how hard it is physically to hold a pose for 30 minutes straight. And the whole point of yoga is to hold your physical position without moving while you are in your head meditating. So like figure modeling is yoga in a lot of ways, which is why I was pretty good at it. Okay, and then there's pranayama, which is breathing. So pranayama is another aspect of yoga, which is breathing exercises, connecting the fire of the breath, really getting connecting your spirit and your mind to the physical aspects of your body. And of course, that's what this workshop is about, right? Reconnecting to our bodies and waking that connection, that mind body spirit connection back up, and so we can start dancing again. Pranayama, which I said previously when in like the first part of this video, when I was first like starting to do my research, in my school notes, it's a withdrawal of senses. So it's being aware of things that can distract you. And like my cat right now, I gave them flea medicine. So they're all a little like weird today. And see, I'm totally distracted, which is why I'm filming this. Okay, so Pranayama is all about being aware of your distractions and working to eliminate them. So going into an uncluttered space, closing your eyes, using noise canceling or a quiet space or music to help your focus, basically internally. Dharma is once you've achieved that focus in meditation. So that's after you've practiced pranayama, you've achieved dharma, which is focusing your intent. And then the seventh one is dhyana, which is being able to empty your mind of distracting thoughts, which like as an ADHD person, it's like the hardest thing in the world to do, right? Because our minds are constantly racing. So to reach dhyana, you're going into that concept of empty-mindedness. And this is where so many schools of thought on meditation get it wrong, because that's the seventh step. That's like the last step before reaching enlightenment in the 8 limbs of yoga. And so many places that teach yoga are like, just empty your brain, or teach meditation. They're like, just empty your brain. I'm like, that's not how any of this works. Like, yes, that's an end goal, but you have 7 steps before you even get there, which is one of the things I like about yoga. And then, of course, the 8th step, of course, is Samadhi, which is reaching enlightenment, which in yoga philosophies is something to always be strived for, but probably never attained, because once you reach that enlightenment, you'll no longer be physically needed on earth, right? So it's kind of like perfection. You always strive for it, knowing that you will probably never attain it. So so I think I'm just gonna go over the basic 8 limbs for my class. I'm gonna figure out how I can word this a little bit more simply. This took like 6 minutes and I had my notebook in my hand. I don't want to spend that much time on it in this class, but I definitely want to touch on it, because teaching the yoga asanas without teaching the yoga philosophy is whitewashing yoga, period. And I'm a white person, so I shouldn't be doing that. Okay, I'm going to end this video, and this was actually really helpful to me. So if you decided to watch this, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I'm going to work on the next step of what I want my class to be, my workshop to be.